Wait. Okay, we're live. We are live.
Yay!
Yay, we're live. We're gonna cover the news on stuff that is related to religion, secularism, atheism, sometimes cultural, political stuff that people in the community were interested in. Every time we have a post on Atheist Republic's Facebook page that has nothing to do with religion, somebody like, what does it got to do with atheism? I'm like, hey, we have to keep clarifying. You're always like, guys, we're just a community of atheists. Not everything we talk about is about atheism. But
Believe it or not, this is actually not a very important part of my identity.
you're right. Yeah, we just want to create a place for us to be able to come and talk about
Yeah.
anything. Just to normalize atheism with when you normalize, for example, when you're normalizing LGBT, creating communities for LGBT people, for a place for them to, first of all, to show their numbers, for more LGBT people to see that this is normal, and also to create a place where they could when they meet each other and talk to each other, they're only talking about LGBT, right? They're talking about other stuff as well. Most of the news is going to be about religion, I think.
And people are asking, no,
Yeah.
Rivka, where's Rivka? Rivka
Busy.
can't be with us, but
Yes.
we love her. Oh, and Secular Proton is here. Good to see you again. We got a
Ghost Bunny,
lot of
Dolly, music guy.
And
Hmm.
this person became a member.
No
This sounds like a
member.
Turkish name.
Right.
I'm sorry, I don't know how to say your first name, but I'm guessing this is probably pronounced like Erdemir. Kind of like Idemir. I'm guessing. That's the only reason why I'm guessing its name.
Right. Anyways, let's go to before we go to the first news, we have a correction, right?
Mm-hmm.
On last week's news. But we'll go to the first news soon.
So last week, you guys may remember we covered a story that we titled quote, Indian court rules. We have, some people in our community, and I love them and appreciate them for being like, hey guys, your coverage of this wasn't exactly good or not entirely accurate. And I'm responsible to you guys. So I'm going to talk about it, especially to our secret lawyer of the case and what we got wrong. So I quickly reviewed what we actually said last week about the extent to which Muslim personal law in India creates exceptions to any other kind of law within India, and to what extent it supersedes pre-existing other laws. And that's actually a point of contention right now in India, but where we went a little bit too far is saying like, okay, so Islamically, like, puberty is as soon as you have your period, you menstruate for girls. So does this mean that this now applies to Indian law? Like, that's what we were discussing and we didn't get quite right. Because that could be below the age of 15, that could be incredibly young, depending on when the girl reaches puberty. So, I'm going to quickly read some of the comments from our lovely lawyer, saying that this.
Let's go through this fast and then get to the news.
Yes.
Also, for people in the live chat, if you're lagging, just go rewind a little bit, or reduce your resolution, and then it's gonna be fine. Stop complaining. Go on.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So, yeah, this is not an accurate representation of this judgment in what Muslim personal law is. If you guys want to know what the actual story is, like, maybe you actually shouldn't go look at our past videos since it wasn't as accurate. But basically, there was a man who was like 36 who married a 17-year-old, and they were being threatened by their family. And so originally, this had to do with them getting protection from the police. So, quote, in India, a man who has sexual intercourse with his wife over the age of 15 years old will not be liable for the R word, sexual assault. So when I say R, I mean RAPE. We have to be careful for YouTube algorithms. So parentheses, this law basically excuses marital R, cringe, but it also means that a man who marries a woman under 15 can be liable for R. And this is applicable across religions. So basically, like, under the age of 15, that's a no-go. That is a no-go zone. This is probably why this particular judge used 15 as a cutoff limit. So the judge said that, presumed adolescence is 15. Presumed age of menstruation is 15. This aside, there is the Prohibition of Child Marriage Act of 2006, which sets 21 as the age of limit of marriage for men and 18 for women. In the cases of child marriage, the adult is penalized, but the marriage stays valid, but is voidable, meaning it can be nullified at the option when the child attains majority, which seems so weird to me. As an aside, like if you are married as a child, I would think that would be automatically nullified, but you actually have to wait to become an adult before you can have it be voided. And then even then, there's only a 2-year period when you can void that marriage.
Okay.
But there's more.
Okay, so I think in the future we need to put the corrections at the end, because there's a reason why we put the juiciest stories at the beginning, because I think we lose half our audience.
Oh my gosh. Let me finish, okay? I'll be quick. This act clearly states that it is applicable to all citizens of India, which should include Muslims too. Now, Muslim personal law obviously conflicts with this. Most major high courts have held that this act, meaning the protection of children, the Prohibition of Child Marriage Act, prevails over Muslim personal laws. However, the Punjab and Haryana High Court and some other courts have held that Muslim personal law will prevail. This is this is an issue pending before the Supreme Court, and so that's when this will finally be decided. It's like, does Muslim personal law take precedent, or does the Protection of Child Marriage Act, the Prohibition of Child Marriage Act, take precedent? And because I won't get into it, but basically there are loopholes. That being said, marriage under 15 can be met with R charges, and so this isn't legal, although it does happen, with both Hindus and Muslims. And yeah, so I think part of the confusion from my side came from the fact that it's so foreign to me that there would be different laws for different religions. And a lot of this does come down to just a lack of one law for all.
All right, cool. Can we go to the first news?
Mm-hmm.
Can I clap for the first news?
Yes, because this guy is
first
awesome.
News.
First news. I have some fun stuff for this one too. The frontman of First news. Polish metal musician found guilty of offending religious feelings. The frontman of Behemoth, an extreme metal band in Poland, was found guilty of offending religious feelings after he shared an image of himself in September 2019, standing on a photo of the Virgin Mary. The Warsaw court convicted musician Adam Nierigaldarsky within only a few days of the charges being brought against him. As a result, this conviction has become an ongoing court battle, as Niergal expects to receive the due process he was denied. Authorities ordered him to pay court costs of 3,500 PLN, which is the currency, and a penalty fine of 15,000 PLN. The amount totals to roughly $5,000, 5,000 USD. Niergal has refused to plead guilty and is preparing to contest the ruling. So this is quite interesting. So there's many different aspects to what's going on here. So like I said, what we've reported on is that this is a photo of him stepping on the Virgin Mary. Well, he's like, how do you know that that's the Virgin Mary? When I saw this, people were reporting on it being the Virgin Mary. As a Catholic, I'm like, this isn't how I'm used to seeing the Virgin Mary portrayed. I'm not used to seeing her in a white. Usually it should be a blue robe with a blue
heart. No, there's a heart here. There's a, what is that thing?
That doesn't look like a Sacred Heart at all. That doesn't look like a Sacred Heart at all. It looks like 3 red X's. And then there's like these beams coming out of her hands. And I don't know what that presumably Polish text is above her head, which would probably, give us some clues.
Yeah, I
Then-
think that would probably whatever the writing is on top of her head makes it clear it's some Mother Mary.
Yeah, so but then he contests. He's like, "How do you guys know that that's my foot? You see a foot. How do you know that it's my foot? How do you know that this is the Virgin Mary?" So to give you guys some background, so this was, thank you for the super chat, Varun, for the $5, saying long time Deristas?
I don't know what that means.
Deristas?
Thank you, Varun.
So he originally posted this back in 2009, but it was only recently latched onto by some conservative Polish, like ultra conservative Polish groups. And so that's when they decided to bring these charges against him. And there was part of the problem comes with, so there's like, okay, so he posted this in 2019, and then he was convicted within a few days of the charges being brought against him. Like, what's going on here? So basically it's a prescriptive sentence. And so he didn't actually get his day in court, and so that's why he's fighting this. He's had a long history of getting blasphemy charges, basically, in Poland. Nurgle is familiar with quote unquote hurting religious feelings in Poland, his native country. In 2007, authorities charged him with blasphemy for shredding a Bible on stage and calling it a book of lies. He was acquitted of those charges in 2010. The heavy metal band faced blasphemy charges in 2018. The government attacked one of their merchandise designs, claiming it mocked Poland's coat of arms. Behemoth, so because I have a t-shirt. And then they dismissed those charges. And then if you scroll down, scroll down so you can see the caption of this Instagram post we embedded. Nope. Up. So he's saying, will I let superstition and fundamentalist dogma capitalize this on every other case of this nature? F no. Nurgle, I think he meant to say Nurgle, not Nigel, has some assets up his sleeve. Just wait and see. And then scroll down further, like to the bottom. Yeah, so here he is, like at one of the shirts that says, "I don't care." And then he's like, "How's your religious feelings today?"
That's awesome.
Anyway, and then scroll back up so you see the one in the post in the middle.
By the way, Amazon doesn't let us sell shirts like this anymore. They have new rules saying that we can't offend, which is like stupid. Anyways.
So wait, no, go so you can see the caption of this one. Okay, so this is scroll down. There we go. So here is the caption. He says, "Another lawsuit in the process. Reason in every case the same offense of religious feelings." Can you imagine this?
Wait, for our audio listeners, can you tell people that this is the caption of?
Yes, so this is what he said in an Instagram post. Can you imagine this nonsense in the 21st century? Poland is so mentally so effing behind the civilized Europe that we are literally the last bastion of the so-called blasphemy cause. Even extremely Catholic Ireland removed this paragraph from constitution lately. It will happen in Poland at some point, and yeah, I will be willing to be that stepping stone. F religious fundamentalism in every effing hole. And frankly, I'm sure I will win in every other case. Just wait and see.
Okay, this guy is the hero.
Like Brandy's like, Nurgle gives 0 Fs.
Okay, this guy is my new hero, and Poland is the leading Christian country that is enforcing blasphemy rules, right? Like
that I'm aware of, yeah. So he did say that Poland is the last bastion of blasphemy. It's like, well, no,
Christian.
We'll see what's going on in the Islamic world. But yeah. Christian, certainly. There is some instances in Africa.
Leading the charts is Islamic countries, Iran and Saudi Arabia, number one when it comes to form the government. Pakistan coming from, number 3 when it comes from the mob rather than the government. And then every other Islamic countries like Bangladesh, and then go all the way down to the most modern ones like Tunisia, Malaysia, Indonesia. They still have blasphemy stuff there, right? But here's the thing. And then after Islamic countries, you have the main country that is enforcing blasphemy is a Hindu country, which is India, after all the Islamic countries. And then in the Christian world, it's mostly no blasphemy except Poland. But you were just saying, no, there's Africa has some Christian blasphemy country. Yeah, I think like Kenya and Uganda. You're right. Africa.
And it might not even be on the books so much as just like culturally it's contentious. That's what I mean.
Right. But it's very interesting because the best of Islamic countries are still behind the worst of the Christian countries when it comes to enforcing blasphemy, I think. You know what I mean? Like, so the worst Islamic countries are Iran and Saudi Arabia. The best, the most moderate ones are, I don't know, Tunisia, Malaysia, Indonesia. And if you look at what happens there, they are still behind the worst case scenario in Christian countries, which is like something like Poland. So that shows you how far behind Islamic countries are. Anyways.
But I wanted, so since we posted this article, he started a really cool project that I want to share with you guys. So this is an update. Let me know if you can't hear this, okay?
Hello world, this is Adam Nierigaldarsky. For many years, I have confronted corrupted individuals and pseudo-organizations in courts across Poland trying to convict me for so-called blasphemy. Poland becomes the last bastion of Catholic fundamentalist regime that still holds to paragraph 196 in its constitution, its so-called blasphemia case. And it's just another excuse for all sorts of opportunists, pettifoggers, bullies that harass me under the banner of Catholic dogma. So far, I've been somewhat immune to all that and managed to shield off most of those attempts. But what does this situation tell about the juridical system in Poland? Many cases of...
I just wanted to pause and say, well, also for copyright.
I
love this setting. I love the setting. He's like, no, we got to do this dark. I'm going to have a candle in front of me. Like I'm setting the mood. Okay.
Right. This guy's a hero.
He's so cool. But just wait.
Pedophilia crimes among clergy are being secretly wiped up, and the predators hardly ever face the law. And here, an artist is being convicted within few days for what? Posting a photo on his social media? It is an absurd. It makes Polish justice look like a fucking joke. And so it is. Now I must engage in more effective means and uncompromising law artillery to finally beat the bastards once and for all the artists in Poland that have been punished for blasphemy. And so I decided to start raising funds to help me and others financially to steadfastly maintain and conquer all odds and obstacles to finally shut down this war on artistic expression in Poland.
Wow.
At the same time, I wanted to thank you so much for sending all messages and words of support. It really means a lot to me. And please never cease your opposition to any oppression, no matter what kind it is. Below you can find all the information how you can become involved in the fight. Stay strong, stay healthy, y viva l'arte, hail freedom, hail Satan.
Okay.
Everything about this is
Hello world,
amazing.
this is
Okay.
Adam Nierigaldarsky.
The fact that so he's titled this Ordo Blasphema. So if you guys want to learn more about this, you can go to his Instagram, which is Nurgle69, nice, where he has a GoFundMe that is going towards his legal expenses and also other artists. Just iconic, really, and his his Instagram is just amazing. Like, check this out. He posted this. And how's your religious feelings today, folks? He does this like every few days. And then this is supposed to be the Bible, but it's just blah 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 blah.
That's amazing. Wow. This is the guy that we needed right now. This is what we okay. This
No,
is
but this is funny. So I mean it doesn't translate it on my browser version, but so this is all in Polish, but it like roughly translates to like a user's warning that the content on this profile may offend religious feelings. What it says in his bio. You know,
all right.
Open at your own risk.
We should do a blasphemous art in honor of what he's doing to support his work and all.
Yeah, what do you think it would be?
I don't know. We can think of something. But by the way, guys, I just want to mention that you have to understand that this is. I know I don't want to constantly bring attention to something else when we're talking about Christian blasphemy and all, but this is used in Islamic countries to justify their blasphemy laws, right? This is a European country, and the fact that they have blasphemy laws, I have, as somebody who follows like the news in Iran and some other Islamic countries, they use this as a way to say like, look, this is what you guys are suggesting that is barbaric, ancient, dogmatic. Even European countries have that, right? So the disagreement should not be whether blasphemy laws make sense or not. The disagreements should be on what's blasphemy and what isn't. They use this as an excuse to say, like, look, blasphemy is a thing. These so-called, advanced, humanitarian countries, they know that they can't leave religion behind, that some things are too holy, some things are too sacred, some things require protection, right? And having this kind, and again, I know it's not comparable, like they kill people for blasphemy, right? So I'm not defending their argument. I'm not even suggesting that it makes any sense, but they use these laws in European countries or any religious enforcement, even in the United States. They use it as an excuse to show that don't tell me religion has no place in politics. Even North American countries have that. Even European countries have that. Go ahead, Susanna.
It's really funny. I love following him on Instagram. Like, he does things where he mocks influencers, like, how people do unboxing, but instead it's him unboxing like legal notices from the government about his blasphemy.
Really?
Yes, like, this guy's amazing. So Bubble is saying you should collaborate with him. Has he heard of Sexy Kali? Now, presumably not. A lot of people have requested that we interview him. I'm still looking for like a way to contact him.
It's really big though.
This is
hard.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me be honest, okay? Because I think it's really hard to get on this person's radar, one way to get on this person's
is a sexy
radar
art.
Is to do an art, just so that he might notice us. And then if he notices us, then maybe we could bring him on.
I actually think Kenji's idea is a pretty good idea. Like, Virgin Mary with a boot fetish. Like, what if it was Virgin Mary licking his boots? Like, I think that's genius.
Let's do it.
That's genius.
Genius. Let's do it. Good.
Yes. Okay.
You guys.
Wait. We're adding it to the list.
Yes.
So, and it's so fun that our blasphemous art is also, we can use this project to be in solidarity with other people who are persecuted for this kind of stuff. Like we did the LGBT Mary for the people who are facing charges for that in Poland. We did the LGBT Kaaba for the students in Turkey who did like a interpretive protest art of the Kaaba. And now we can do this. And Varun, thank you for the $5 super chat. Saying,
Oh yeah.
my religious cow feelings are so aroused right now. Plot twist.
Yeah.
Yes. So I've seen some other people saying that he faces 2 years in prison if convicted of blasphemy. Now, that's not what I read in the reports that I saw at the time that we put this out, but maybe there are updates. Like maybe because he's contesting the original prescriptive sentence. Like
honestly, that would be so good to continue for us to continue embarrass Poland. Like how embarrassing would it be for Poland for this guy to even have a chance of going to prison for something like this?
Mm-hmm.
Like highlighting how barbaric and ridiculous and ancient like these like Poland. I mean, can you even like? Oh my god! Like the European Union should you should be embarrassed for this country to even be part of be considered part of the civilized world. Where come on, guys. Come on, catch up with the rest of the civilized world. It's about time. Ah, goddamn! I can't believe we're still having these discussions about this. We're we meant to send stuff to Mars, right? And where people are oh, entire countries as laws of oh, you step your boot on a picture, maybe that's illegal. How are we still having these discussions? Sometimes I'm is this real? Are we the same species? Are the same people that having the discussions about what happened in the fraction of a second at the beginning of the universe? What are the chemical pre-atomic reactions that happened at this time? Is that the same species that is discussing whether or not we should have laws to limit somebody offending someone's religious ancient?
I don't like that statement. That's very dehumanizing.
It is very it is okay, but I wonder, I can't help it. I'm just saying it comes across to my mind. So how are we the same? And I realize that this is here. Let me undo it. My conclusion is that we are this is being human. Okay, the people that have pushing us forward, right? That are keep advancing science and bring the enlightenment and are responsible for modernity. They are the weird ones. They everything that is making us move forward. A huge percentage of it comes from a tiny percentage of unique people who think differently. Okay, so if anything, what most humans share is this flawed way of thinking, the black and white thinking, the sense of tribalism, the finding agency where there's no agency, the looking at causation whenever they see anything that remotely seems like correlation. That is human. Okay, so I feel sometimes this dehumanizing thoughts comes to my mind. Do these people belong to the same species? And then the answer is no. Yeah, they do. They are the most human. Okay, this is the nature of our species, is to be like this. So I think it, but then I come to, you know what I mean. Forgive me for coming to having these thoughts sometimes. Yes, I know it's dehumanizing. So I don't endorse my guilty thoughts sometimes. Okay. Anyways. But okay, hold on. Because Rivka is not here, so you have to give me some, because when she's talking, that's my time for switching to the next news. But you have to give me some time to figure this out, okay? Every time between the news. Can we clap for the next news?
Only because it's so absurd. You gotta
next news.
Okay, next news. Iran's Khamenei issues fatwa. Woo! Female cartoon characters must wear hijab. Oh my god. Okay, speaking of where we are as a human race. Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, held a virtual forum on Telegram, a messaging platform, and someone poses a question to him. The Al Arabiya news outlet reports. Since Iranian women are mandated to wear hijabs ever since the 1979 Islamic Revolution, Khamenei was asked if characters in animated films should likewise be required to wear the hijab. Khamenei's answer was quoted as, quote, although wearing hijab in such a hypothetical situation is not required per se, observing hijab in animation is required due to the consequences of not wearing a hijab, according to the Iran Wire report. The New Arab stated that it is unclear how Khamenei's order will be enforced, but noted, quote, Tehran has imposed strict censorship laws on the country's film agencies, end quote. Animations or cartoons depicting female characters not properly covered may be banned from theaters moving forward. We still have yet to find out. But I thought that, wait, can you scroll down? So people especially Farsi Twitter was losing their shit. So wait, but click open the one with the cat wearing the chador. Oh shoot, it takes it to the tweet. Okay, but click it open. There we go. So if you're listening to an audio, it's Tom and Jerry like giving flowers to his like sexy white little cat lady friend, but instead he's wearing a mamat and she's wearing a full chador.
Okay, just to be clear, some people think like, okay, well, of course these religious leaders are insane and they have like crazy. No, this is like, okay, even by Iranian standards, this is like ridiculous. Like, yes, they are ridiculous on every day, but this is like a new level. Like even Iranians woke up and saw this news, and even they were like, "Oh my god!"
Excuse me. Excuse me.
Okay, so by the way, this is satire, right? So they didn't do
yes.
This you don't have. Okay, so here's the thing. Iran. So this is a satire. Iranian Supreme Leader Khamenei's fatwa today on cartoon characters' obligations to be covered up before fatwa. Okay, so here's the thing. You know that this is satire because this is like maximum hijab. Like the chador is like maximum hijab that you could get. But let me show you the real version. Like the whole idea of putting hijab on cartoons is not the. Here's the actual version. Okay, so this is the one that is not a joke. Okay, so this is Masih al-Najad. She's saying this isn't a joke. The Supreme Leader of the Islamic Republic of Iran has announced women, even in animation, should wear hijab. By the way, I grew up like in Iran after the Islamic. So the reason why I'm saying this is like ridiculous, even based on Iranian standard, is because I grew up in Iran, and we watched cartoons with women without hijab. The only thing that was cut out was if their legs were showing, if their arms were showing, if anybody showed any romantic interest outside of marriage, anybody kissed, those were cut out. But the women there, they were there without the hijab walking. Apparently now this is a new standard, okay? After 40 years of Islamic Republic. So this is a new level of ridiculous. So Masih al-Najad continues saying even female insects like bees have their hijabs on, okay? Okay, this is but guys, we're not in satire. This is not satire anymore, okay?
This part isn't.
This part is real. Their obsession with the hair of female anything is toxic. These people are in power in Iran. Okay.
I like no emphasis on of the hair of female anything.
Female anything. But okay, but here's the thing, bees okay, so is this a female bee?
Yeah,
it's a female bee that she should be queen.
No, I mean she could just be like a little. She looks like a little honeybee.
Okay, there's no way if you're female and you're B, then you're a queen. There's no option. You're either a worker or you're male or you're a queen. Okay, but
Oh
I'm
my
pretty
gosh.
sure.
Of course, you gotta like be so
No, okay,
literal about this.
hey,
It's a
hey,
cartoon.
okay, but here's the thing. Um, I bees don't have hair.
Yeah,
Okay, this is
but
okay.
yeah.
So they're putting hijab on these. Amazing. I mean, technically, this is haram as well. They're looking each other in the eye, like, brother, lower your gaze. Lower your gaze, brother. What are you doing?
What are
Just
you
because
doing?
just because she has a hijab on, it doesn't mean you can just look in her eyes. This is a sin in Islam. God damn it,
Wait, click on the one that looks like a little ice queen. I want to see what she looks like.
guys. So just
No,
just
click on
to
that
be
one.
with this one.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Ah.
Uh-huh. Hey, I remember.
If you're
this.
listening, it's like an ice queen lady, but she kind of has like a pointy hat
The
thing on.
children.
Because
These
it's
are
the
children.
Well, it's one little girl's wearing hijab.
Okay, so that means like we're protecting Iranian men from being attracted to the whole. This is the point of it.
Like
To
7-year-old.
a 7-year-old cartoon, and also just to be clear, Iranian men. This is what you're now protected from being attracted to bees.
Of
to
like
cartoon
what looks
bees.
like a 5-year-old
This is-
anthropomorphized version of a bee.
Yes.
You're
yes.
welcome.
You're welcome. This is the government doing what it's meant to do, protecting you from getting too horny by female bees.
Wait, no, but Ralpham has the hilarious comment. Khamenei probably just discovered hentai.
Yeah. Okay, by the way, this might be offensive to any furries that might be watching because we're making fun of the idea of anybody becoming attracted to
No, furries is more specific. This is too human to be furry-ish.
right.
This is too many human features.
I mean, she's wearing her leggings are tight still too tight though, in my opinion.
Improper hijab.
No, I mean she has a job, but look, I can see like
No,
whatever
but
she's wearing, like
hijab
really
is not
tight.
just head covering. It is the entire. It's not just head covering. It's the entire.
Yeah. So this is not proper hijab.
clothing.
First of all, I can still see hair. This bee,
She's going to hell.
like
She's
what?
going
Like
to hell.
look what the young Iranian boys are being exposed to. The martyrs, the martyrs in Iran. They bled to protect the country. They bled to protect. They gave their, and you're still exposing the young in Iran to hair like this, like you're tempting them to lead them astray from the rightful Islamic path, and you call this proper hijab? Look at the tight legs. I can see her legs. The covering of the legs needs to be loose enough so you can't see the shapes. This is not Islamic.
I see ankle.
Yeah. Ooh,
How
right.
dare you?
I see ankle here as well. You're right.
Wait, but can we go back to the article that we posted on the website? Because I want to show you one more satire thing that I thought was hilarious. Okay, so scroll further down. Yeah, here we go. Little Mermaid before and after Khamenei's fatwa.
Okay.
It's so good. This is this is more like realistic.
No, these are satire.
No, I know, but you were saying like it's satire because it's the maximum hijab for when they did like a full chador. But this is more of like possibly a more average civilian.
They would never show Ariel, and they can't. Like she's too naked for them to be able to.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair to these are satire. To be fair to the Iranian artists, they're very like when they're told like you have to put hijab on these cartoons, they find very tasteful ways of like the ones that I showed you that it's not satire. They're pretty good at figuring out. Okay, let me figure out how to put hijab in these cartoons and make it look good. Like whenever you say that it looks bad like this, that's the satire one. When you saw the B one with the hijab, You can see that they really tried to still make it look good to the kids, for the kids. So I mean, they did a pretty good job. I mean, it's still ridiculous, but the artists are doing a good job at trying to make it still fun for the kids.
It's
Yeah.
someone in the chat, I think it was Razam, was basically saying that they think that this is a form of propaganda, just to try to make kids like the hijab or not want to get rid of it.
Actually, this is okay. I'm gonna tell you, Khamenei, if you're watching, you don't know what you're doing. Okay, I'll tell you by experience.
You done goofed.
Like, because you are okay. Do you know
Senile?
why some people? Do you know why some people get fetishes and some people become furry? Some people have like, is when you are discovering your sexuality as a child, okay, the things that you're exposed to gets short, like the wiring in your brain all of a sudden gets connected to the things that you're exposed to the most. And while you're discovering your sexuality, you associate those things with what you consider to be sexy, right? And this is the explanation for why people have different fetishes or different kinks, or they're into different things, okay? So what you're doing, okay, if by putting hijab on these cartoon characters, these kids are going to grow up and they're going to notice that this cartoon character is actually kind of cute. And you're going to put hijab on everything that is female. Guess what's going to happen?
People are going to be aroused by the hijab.
People are going to be aroused by the hijab.
I mean, they already are.
They already are, but this is going to make that a lot more, okay? Kids are going to grow up. Every single female thing that they ever see has a hijab on. Hijab is going to become arousing to them. And if you keep doing that, at some point to achieve the purpose of hijab is to You're undermining the purpose of hijab. In fact, if you raise a population of people who are attracted now to the hijab, to be true to the spirit of the Sharia, if in front of these people you have to take off your hijab, okay? Because the whole goal of the hijab is to be less sexually attractive. So if you meet people that are attracted to the hijab, to be true to the spirit of the Sharia, you have to take off your hijab whenever you see one of these people.
Wait.
No.
Fatwa, did someone say furry? I have been summoned. Like literally on cue.
Wait. Okay, wait. Did you just join? Because you missed a whole bunch of... Okay. Queen, you need to go watch the whole thing.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. All right.
But yeah, this is quite the development.
Yes. I think we had the best
take. Boy, and Tojo goes, furries, what's that? And then it all comes,
no.
I just Googled it. Please don't sue us for emotional distress.
Oh God, that was the best. This is one of the best episodes.
And we need it. Isn't it awesome? Holy crap!
Right.
I need my fan.
Oh my God! All right. All right, we needed this because the rest of the news is kind of crap.
Yeah, we have a lot of Iranian news this week.
Oh, we do?
Yeah, we have like 3 different news items from Iran, and it would have been more if I didn't pace ourselves.
Okay, I don't know how to transition to the next news, which God damn it.
Well, this is actually I mean, it's positive news.
Oh, is it? Oh, okay.
Basically.
Okay, so for reference in future, like this is not bad, but like I learned something, right? If a news is funny, don't put something like really depressing right after it, because it's going to be really hard for us to transition.
True.
Okay. Like maybe like if there's a funny, then put something neutral and then go to the like tragic ones. Like give us some time to adjust.
Yes,
okay?
yes.
All right.
Well, the good news is that Tojo may have found a new kink. So
you're
welcome.
You're welcome, Tojo. You might as well become a member as a token of your appreciation. Like it's not. It's why are you not even a member? Like we showed you
just
a
opened a
whole
new
new
door.
world of pleasure. Like from now on to the end of times. By the way, every time you're enjoying that now, you have to think of me and Susie now because we.
Ooh, you don't have to.
We introduced that to you, so you're welcome.
Um,
Anyways,
okay, let's go to the next news.
I can clap then for the next news.
Yeah.
Okay. Next news.
Next news. 5 sentenced to death in Bangladesh for killing atheist blogger. In February of 2015, a renowned Bangladeshi American blogger and published author, Avijit Roy, was gruesomely murdered in Dhaka at age 42. Roy was a notable advocate of the free thought movement in Bangladesh. Roy was a Bangladeshi American citizen and a critic of religious extremism. He was publicly assaulted by machete-wielding assassins who butchered him to death as he and his wife were leaving a book fair. His wife, Rafida Ahmed, survived but suffered head injuries and lost a finger. A court in Dhaka sentenced 5 members of an Islamist group to death on Tuesday, February 16th, 2021, for killing Roy 6 years ago. According to the prosecutor, another one of the attackers was sentenced to life in prison. The defense attorney for the 6 men said that they will appeal the sentences in a higher court.
Okay, so this is one of those news that's going to basically test us, right? Because we're against capital punishment.
Yes.
And at the same time, Bangladesh we want justice for atheist bloggers being killed, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know what? I'm going to stick to my principle here and saying I do not support this. He should have been sentenced to life in prison or something like this.
One of the attackers, the 6th one, was sentenced to life in prison. They can still appeal. Like, let's be clear, things may change. But yeah, I don't support the death penalty, although I do support this murder being taken very seriously. So just because I support them getting a harsh sentence doesn't mean I support like this form of penalty.
Right. I mean, I really appreciate the fact that Bangladesh. Yep. Yeah, you're right. Both could be true at the same time. I mean, you're right. Bangladesh taking this seriously is very, very refreshing. Okay. At the same time, it's a death sentence. Like, you know. Okay. So, by the way, for practical reasons, also, these people are going to turn into martyrs now. Yeah, I don't know. How do you feel
if they actually get executed?
Yeah, I mean,
even
yeah, I mean, even if they don't get, even if they don't get executed, just sentencing people to death is like I'm against. Just the act of sentencing people to death is by itself horrible, in my opinion. Even if they did commit the worst.
Is that Avijit Roy's widow, Rafida, said that the verdict will never bring peace to her family. Simply prosecuting a few foot soldiers and ignoring the rise and roots of extremism does not mean justice for Avi's death, she stated. In 6 years, not one person investigating the case in Bangladesh reached out to me, though I am a direct witness and victim of the attack, she wrote in a Facebook post, which I embedded in this article. It's quite lengthy. And there was where was it? So basically, there were statements from various officials talking about how serious this was and how it is unacceptable that secularists would be targeted in Bangladesh, which is incredibly encouraging. However, I don't think it's good enough for people to be prosecuted after the fact. Like, people who take up dangerous work need more active protection from the police. And there's a lot that went into this. I mean, about the group that was involved, like who's actually the person who's most responsible for the murder versus just the people who carried it out. But Avijit was an extremely notable author. He authored 10 books and founded the renowned Bengali language blog Muktu Mona, which means free mind, in which condemned extremism and highlighted humanist and rationalist ideas. And because of this, he was terrorized. His subject matter was frequently contentious and covered topics such as homosexuality. One of his last books was called The Virus of Faith. And he argues that faith-based terrorism will wreak havoc on society in epidemic proportions. And this was very internationally well received. And he said that this is partly why he was targeted. So he said of a book he published before his death that it, quote, hit a cranial nerve of the Islamic fundamentalists and raised ire among militant Islamists and terrorists who began to target him. And so this led to people just openly posting death threats against him on Facebook, such as Avijit Roy lives in America, and so it is not possible to kill him right now. But he will be murdered when he gets back. And I just want to highlight, if I didn't make it clear, he was murdered in broad daylight. In broad daylight, leaving, openly in the street, leaving a book fair.
Wow. You want to read what Ghost Bunny and Razam have to say?
Ghost Bunny is saying, I wonder if Bangladesh is trying to set an example with this and using it as a sort of fear tactic to lessen the chances of more killings of atheists. Well, data shows that doesn't work with the death penalty. I mean, they could be trying to do that. It's not like, if that is their intention, that's not likely to be efficacious.
Right. Yeah, that doesn't. We have data. These things don't work. Razam, you want to read
Razam is saying there probably there will be backlash of religious people. Yeah.
Peter, maybe, you're probably right. Peter, I don't know what Peter is getting at. Can you read this one? You read it
as
out
a
loud?
Victim of a drunk driver crippled for life by a hit and run and left for an hour legally dead. Oh, wow. I find forgiveness for such crimes to be active religious victim shaming. So I think you're arguing that there are people who are like, oh, you just need to forgive and forget, like, that they're shaming you religiously for
I do think
on to that. I think that's kind of separate from this, though.
Yeah. If anybody thinks that we not supporting the death sentence for this person means that we are like dismissing how big of a crime he committed and how unforgivable his actions are, I hope nobody thinks that. Okay.
Yeah, just because I don't support the death penalty doesn't mean that I demand forgiveness from the victims and his family.
Yeah,
that's totally separate. No,
and we're not dismissing how hard
penalized, just not with death, in my opinion.
Yes. Okay, Shu was saying it was. Oh, okay, yeah, this is what you already said.
Yeah, it was during the book fair. His name sounds Hindu. What was his background? And Shubhadas is saying, well, that he was from a Hindu family. So yeah, a Hindu background.
Yeah. Okay, but he was so Hindu, ethnically Hindu, but he was an atheist.
Well, yeah.
Okay. All right. Oh, by the way, if any like family members or anybody like that ever endorses like the death penalty, it's completely understandable. You know what I mean? Like, I hope like nobody thinks like if we're against the death penalty, but the people who lost a loved one, not only they want the death penalty, they want that person to be tortured, burned alive or something like that. Yeah, we probably will think the same way. if somebody did that to our loved ones, right? But there's a reason why laws and standards are not written or enforced by people who are the victims themselves, right? Like you could completely excuse and understand someone's way of thinking and feeling when they are the victim. And I would probably, when you're that under that level of emotional stress, I would probably also change my standards for that specific situation. But I'm glad that governments and institutions are making decisions based on what's best for an entire society rather than my individual preference for revenge, which shouldn't, that's not the best way of coming up with methods that make the society better as a whole, right? But go ahead.
Yeah, I think there's one thing I wanted to highlight. So this is from the statement given by his wife. And in it, she highlights basically that like the true leaders of this were allowed to continue their serial killings of secular writers for up to or like 8 months after Roy's killing. And then she says, Bangladesh's government has become more autocratic since we were attacked. Freedom of speech has been restricted further. Secular writers, bloggers, activists were forced to leave the country during and after 2015. A harsher Digital Security Act has been enacted. Bloggers, writers, publishers have been persecuted for their writings on a regular basis. Bangladesh's prime minister is increasingly friendly with Hifazat Islam, an Islamist group of madrasa teachers and students that demanded the quote-unquote heads of secular writers and bloggers in 2014. And then again, basically, simply prosecuting a few foot soldiers is not enough. It does not mean justice for Avi's death, nor the deaths of the bloggers, publishers, and homosexuals before and after him as part of the serial killing. That is why this verdict does not bring peace to my family or theirs.
Susie, do you mind interacting with some of the comments while I go take a pee break? Be right back, okay?
Oh, okay. Okay, let's see what y'all are talking about. And I wish Rivka was here because I think she may have a connection to his wife. Shubho Das is saying, it's sort of strange to see the Bangladeshi government taking these steps now, since only a few months ago, thousands of people rallied protesting against France. And then I have schoolmates there who supported the killing. Oh my. Yeah, I mean, in terms of this, since only a few months ago, thousands of people rallied protesting France. So you're talking about the massive boycotts that were going on after the murder of school teacher Samuel Paty for showing prophets of the cartoons of the Prophet Muhammad in class and then being beheaded in the streets of Paris for it. It's different. So obviously, like those are separate entities, right? Like I know in Bangladesh there was a rally of like 40,000 people who were rallying for this boycott of France. And I believe that there was a Islamist group who was involved in rallying favor for this boycott. I think maybe because this is an ongoing case, like that's why they're taking this now. I don't know. I mean, this is obviously, there's very political stuff going on that I'm not, I don't have the expertise on, because this can still be appealed. So we'll see what happens in the appeals. It'd be interesting to see if like attitudes or judgments change in any way, or not judgments, but sentencing.
Okay. Wow. All right. Wow. Okay. Yeah. Can I clap for the next news?
No.
Okay, next news.
Oh. 9,000 children married in Iran in the summer of 2020. On January 31st, 2021, the Statistical Center of Iran reported that approximately 9,058 girls between the ages of 10 and 14 were married in 2020.
Wait, are we sure this is real? This is... 9,000
in like the second quarter of the year.
in just one summer?
Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of stuff that goes into this, but primarily analysts are pointing towards this one thing in particular. State-owned banks provide easy loans to cover wedding expenses, which is causing a surge of child marriages in Iran. In April 2020, Bank Muskan advertised an offer to loan basically the equivalent of almost $24,000 USD to couples who marry this year. Since girls age 13 and younger and boys age 15 may legally marry in Iran, they also qualify for the loans. However, the funds are paid to their parents, who are still their legal guardians until they reach age 18. These loans create an unprecedented opportunity for poverty-stricken parents to benefit themselves financially.
9,000? This is insane.
Yeah, so part of why I wanted to highlight this is because we've talked before about child marriage in Iran and also honor killings in Iran as being fairly unusual and also fairly unpopular. And so I thought it was interesting how there is this situation with these banks that's kind of popped up in the spring of last year that caused basically a financial incentive for child marriage.
Wait, so didn't they increase the marriage age in Iran from 9 to 13 just a couple of years ago? How is this even... Wait. How is this even possible? Age of marriage in
people look the other way.
The age of marriage in Iran is 13. According to Islamic Republic, the legal age of marriage in Iran is set at... Yeah, it used to be 9. They changed it to 13. So how is this happening then?
I don't know. The thing is that
the law is not enforced.
This is a report from the Statistical Center of Iran, which is the main organization for statistics in Iran. It's a government agency. It is funded by the government of Iran. So that's where we're getting these statistics from.
Where rising numbers of young girls aged 13 and younger are offered. Since girls aged 13 and younger and boys aged 15 may legally marry in Iran, this is like, I don't understand. Saying since girls aged 13 and younger and boys aged 15 may legally marry in Iran. I'm getting contradictory information right now because I'm looking up age of marriage in Iran and I'm getting 13. Let's see, like girls. So now I'm looking at this other article. What's the child? Here, look at this one. So for Iran, what's the child marriage rate and how big of an issue? This is for Iran, okay? Anybody has any answers to us for this? We need to look into this because I'm getting a contradictory information.
Yeah, but that age is shared elsewhere. Like,
oh yeah, look at this. In 2019, the video of a wedding ceremony of an 11-year-old girl and a 20. Okay, so apparently I was wrong. You can still get married under 13. Maybe it's not enforced. Like, okay, there's difference between not having a law that is not enforced, but then you have the banks actually like giving you money even though you're getting married before age 13, which is legally what you get away with. Like, that's how not enforced it's. Okay, this is like, I need to do more research into this. So we have 2 tweets here. Here, you want to read Harry Sultan's tweet?
Yes. So he's saying those apologists who say, well, quote, those people have misunderstood Islam. They are essentially saying that the Quran is a terribly written book that can be easily misunderstood and hence has become a source of suffering for innumerable people. # cancel Islam. And then he like included this article as a reason why people should cancel Islam, basically. But here I have an article by Iran Wire, and it's about same thing, ages between 10 and 14, and this is again a government agency that's publicizing this.
I found the answer to what the reason for the confusion is. Sharia-based Iranian law states that the legal age for marriage is 13. This used to be 9, but now it's 13 for girls and 15 for boys. But marriages can still be carried out at a younger age with the consent of the fathers and permission from court judges. So they raised it from 9 to 13, but they left loopholes to do it younger than 13. This has enabled a culture whereby child marriages is considered somewhat socially acceptable. I don't know about this part. It's a lot of Iranians really frown upon. Maybe my experience of this is different because I was raised in Upper Tehran or the more liberal part of Shiraz. So maybe this is my personal experience is that this is a taboo, but maybe it's because I was raised like in a bubble, more liberal, and also online Iranians maybe don't represent the average. Like a lot of people don't. Southern Tehran people's views is different from Northern Tehran, and a lot of people don't live in big cities. And maybe as Iranians who are online often, they're not exposed to a lot of these people, so it might be a lot more acceptable.
Here's a quote. In fact, child rights activist Hamed Farmad says these marriages often take place in rural and superstitious communities where the child may not be able to escape the marriage if they want to. In Iran, even adult women in large cities who are equipped with legal knowledge and education and employable skills and other resources sometimes face obstacles to divorce. What's also interesting is that the statistical report also stated that 188 divorces involving children had taken place in the same period. So they're also like, imagine already being divorced as a child. It's so messed up.
People are finding these images uncomfortable, but imagine what happens after the wedding. Like these are children. It's even, and this is legal, and this happening but you're finding uncomfortable right now. It's happening 9,000 times in one summer. This is insane. This is stuff that you will go to jail for a very, 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 very long time in most civilized countries.
And there's an economic incentive to it because people are there's obviously numerous economic issues going on in Iran, but also just compounded by the coronavirus during this exact time period, right? This is when it was like at its worst.
Yes. God damn it, man. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to say. I don't know. This is too
And I'm sorry that the next news is more bad news from Iran.
Again, today we are heavily focused on Iran, eh?
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of Iran related news this week. Okay. Which one is it? Okay. All right. Next news.
Iran's use of electric shocks on LGBT children is, quote, torture. On Wednesday, February 10th, the United Nations released a report describing appalling details of electric shock and other means of torture that the Islamic Republic of Iran uses against LGBT children while claiming their intent is to, quote-unquote, cure them. Javed Rahman, the United Nations Special Rapporteur for Iran, issued a damning report confirming the oppression and systemic torture of LGBT people and many other minorities, including labor rights activists, women, ethnic and religious minorities. Also, in July of 2019, the human rights non-governmental organization, or NGO, 6 Rang, reported that Iran operates an increasing number of, quote, private and semi-governmental psychological and psychiatric clinics, end quote, throughout the country, engaging in, quote, corrective treatment or reparative therapies on LGBT people. Same-sex consensual sex is forbidden in the Islamic Republic of Iran, punishable by flogging and in some cases death. In Iran, the law, quote, does not distinguish between consensual and non-consensual same-sex intercourse.
Yeah, this is... I mean, what else? What do you want to say? There's nothing to say. Look at this tweet.
Well, I mean, I thought it was quite significant that this is a tweet highlighting some other reports by that same NGO, Six Ring. I thought it was important to highlight this is an official report released by the United Nations, right? So this carries a whole different level of gravity and credibility. Although obviously, like, the UN has its own issues. The report also highlighted that there are a lot of community leaders who often refer to the LGBT community as diseased and subhuman. Peter Thatchell, the famed LGBT campaigner, he's British, basically equated this use of torture to the medical experimentation that the Yazis of World War II performed on LGBT people, using coded language because YouTube be sensitive. And he recommended that Iran be excluded from Twitter's international medical associations and conferences. Previously, this is just to give you guys more background, the Jerusalem Post examined a 2008 WikiLeaks cable that stated that Iran's clerical regime has executed between 4,000 and 6,000 gays and lesbians since the country's Islamic Revolution in 1979. Iran, I believe, is the second world's largest state executioner, or they have the second largest numbers of state executions, which and I think if you do a calculation based on like the per capita, it's like the largest in the world, although I don't trust the numbers coming out of China. So yeah, obviously this is a huge, it's horrible, it's appalling. I didn't even really want to get into the details of what this report really describes. And Javed Rahman, again, the special rapporteur from the United Nations to Iran, said, quote, he is concerned about the reports that, these children are subjected to electric shocks and the administration of hormones and strong psychoactive medications. These practices amount to torture and cruel, inhuman, and degrading treatment and violate the state's obligations under the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights and the Convention of Rights of the Child. The Committee on the Rights of a Child wrote, quote, the reported treatment of these individuals violates their rights to liberty, fair trial, integrity, privacy, dignity, equality before the law, non-discrimination, and the absolute prohibition on torture and other cruel, inhuman, and degrading treatment and punishments as enshrined in international law. So I haven't been able to find anything about any sort of action that is going to be taken on this. But given that this is a finding by the UN, I hope that there are actions taken by this, although I don't really know what can be done.
Yeah. I mean, anything I want to say is just so obvious that I don't even feel like saying, what do I say? If I say this is horrible, this is disgusting, more people should pay attention to this, more people should, what do I say that is not already obvious? It just feels like all of it goes without saying. Maybe I just say some things that are not obvious. If anybody wants to say, I'm glad that I didn't see anybody in the live chat saying, well, Republicans would want to do the same. So I'm glad that I'm glad I didn't see that today. So thank the devil for that. Yeah, but Also, I don't understand because we know that these, like for example, these electric shock stuff. I know we know that they are pseudoscience. Like, what is like
That's
the?
not entirely true.
What do you mean?
So, the popularized, or what we popularly know as electric shock therapy that we saw like in the 60s, that is not very good science. It's not true. Not true. Using it for something like this is obviously torture. It's not science. There are very highly technical forms of electric shock therapy that are done in an incredibly more humane way that we have now in the 21st century, that are used for intractable forms of depression, bipolar, etc.
I
But
meant
it
I
is
meant
completely different from this and what it used to be.
Susan. I meant for curing the gay.
Oh, yeah, no.
Okay, that's what I meant. So so I just want to like sometimes like I don't understand what's the motivation behind this. By the way, a lot of idiots think that Iran is progressive because being trans is allowed in Iran. They don't. So if you're one of those idiots who thinks that, just understand that the government's understanding of what trans and gay is completely idiotic. Like they think their understanding is that if you're gay, then you should be trans to be able to sleep with it. Like they don't understand the difference between sexual orientation and gender identity. They mix it together. There are a lot of people in Iran who are gay who are basically forced into going through sex exchange operation, even though they are not trans. They are okay. They are happy with the gender that they are perceived at, but they change their appearance just so that they could be with the people, legally be able to be with the people who they are attracted to. Imagine you not having any form of gender dysphoria and going through sex exchange operation. Like imagine what a nightmare that is, right? So this whole Iran is progressive because being trans is legal. Like you have no idea what you're talking about if you ever think that. Okay, this is a country that has executed a lot of people for being gay. Okay, so don't ever suggest that being trans, because Iran being trans in Iran is legal, that means they're progressive. Don't ever suggest that. Okay, don't. Be better.
Be best.
Be best. Anyways, this was depressing.
Yeah, sorry,
Um,
guys.
yeah. Is the next one better? Can I clap for the next one?
Not really.
Oh god. All right. Hold on. Next news.
Next news. Gaza revises recent ruling that women need male permission to travel. So, in the Gaza Strip, on Sunday, February 14th, a Hamas run Islamic court ruled that unmarried women in the Gaza Strip now require permission from a male guardian to travel, which is usually an older male relative. A married woman would require approval from her husband. Permission to travel without guardianship would have to be authorized by a court. This ruling incited protests and outrage. The Hamas appointed chairman of the council who initially signed the mandate into law, Hassan Jojo, now agrees that it needs to be revised. On Tuesday, February 16th, Jojo's statement was quoted by Reuters news agency, quote, "We have agreed to redraft this ruling." However, he did not comment on whether the language banning women from traveling would be stricken. So, just to be more clear, there was this ruling of basically instating male guardianship in the Gaza Strip, and then there was that. So that happened, and that was the original news item that we were going to report on. And then there were updates to it when they're like, "Oh, people are real angry. We're going to have to revise it," but they're not being clear about what that revision is. So. Yes, Armin, your commentary.
Yeah, in case you were wondering what Hamas is up to when they're not going boom boom against innocent people, they spend the rest of their time trying to figure out how to make the society they rule more regressive.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah.
Yep. So
That's what they're up to.
yeah,
Just an update on Hamas. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, the bar so low. The mandate would also exacerbate the already restrictive movements across borders, which Egypt and Israel have blockaded since the militant group Hamas came to power in Gaza. Women's rights expert and Palestinian political analyst Rahman Odwa submits that the ruling may have been an attempt to reduce the recent increase in the number of women searching for work outside of Gaza, where employment is now only 49%. So I thought this was interesting about there's economic motivations behind this potentially, which I hadn't considered that before.
So not only they're being regressive, both Saudi and Iranian style on their women, like they're going more like they're like, hey, how could we even be worse than what we already are? Like, let's try to like this is worse than just like they're restricting ways for them to make money, basically.
Yeah, quote, Odwa said, the government in Gaza wanted to limit travel and restrict the movement of women who are ambitious to leave in a search for study or jobs and escape the Israeli blockade.
So your people are suffering financially and they're trying to find creative ways on how to deal with it. And you're like, nope. You know what? This whole idea, this whole of Hamas is banking on the economic frustrations of its people and the misery and them being victims. Like this, like kind of feeds into that. Like I'm not saying this for a fact, but the idea that Hamas wants, like, needs the suffering of the Palestinians to keep selling its narrative. You're not like Hamas, you're not helping with fighting against that narrative. When your people are trying to find ways, that your people who are suffering from unemployment and poverty are trying to come up with ways to try to figure out how to make money, and you're like, no, we need you to be poor. Can't go out and like find ways to stop being victims.
And then also dependent on what Hamas gives them, right?
Yes,
because that's what that's one of the people
allegedly
have a soft spot for Hamas, where they're like, well, they're the only ways that they actually get
charity
services.
Yes,
through Hamas, even if they don't like it, that's how they get their services.
And charity, like Hamas, like we can't be that bad. We give to the poor.
If you're creating dependencies,
no, we can't. Like, look at us. We're giving money to the poor. Look at us. Don't ignore when we like kill innocent children. Look at us. We have charities. Yay. This is like, oh my God. Authoritarians all sound like each other. It's amazing. Yeah. Anyways. Whoa. Peter is here.
Then, so go back down to the bottom. So there's a quote by the Euro-Mediterranean Human Rights... Wait, no, that's not who it was. The European Union delegation to Palestinians. They said on Twitter, quote, concerned about the decision of the Sharia Judicial Council in Gaza restricting travels for women without male guardians. This decision is discriminatory and violates the human rights of Palestinian women and is clearly a step in the wrong direction. It's just so backwards. I mean, like, there's really nothing to say.
Which countries have this other than now apparently Gaza? Because and we know Saudi Arabia has this law. Mm-hmm. We know Iran has this law. Mm-hmm. That women need the permission of their husbands to be able to travel outside of the country. Now we know Gaza has it, but is that it? That's the three?
Well, to be fair, with this thing in Gaza, I don't know if this is enacted. Yeah, and they've said, oh, we're going to have revisions, but haven't said what that is. So short answer is I don't know the answer to that off the top of my head.
Yeah, well, let us know in the comments if you know the answer to that.
Side
Anyway,
note: this person is saying they've never seen an ex-Muslim say a word about the Uyghur genocide. Well, then you haven't been looking very far or
holy
very hard.
crap! You have no idea how insanely wrong you are now. You should be so embarrassed. You should be so
You're
embarrassed. You have no idea how insanely wrong you are.
just do yourself a favor and do like a quick Google on our
No,
YouTube
no,
page.
this guy is beyond hope. This guy is such an I think I don't know.
I just had to highlight that because that's ridiculous.
That's so ridiculous. You should be like, you should go look in the mirror with his murder man, and you should go like, why am I so stupid? Why
Oh,
am I such a moron? Like, like I didn't even bother to search for 5 seconds, and I said something, and it was so wrong, and all I had to do was 5 seconds of research, and I didn't. I'm such an idiot. Wow. I am so embarrassed to be me.
especially coming
That should be
to
you.
us. Coming to
Yeah.
us, we're some of the most vocal.
We have been the most vocal. Yeah. You like, I'm so glad I'm not you, because it's so embarrassing.
Oh
It's
no!
so embarrassing to
Wait,
be you. God
let's go to
damn.
the next news because
All
this
right.
is patently hilarious, and we can
Oh, so
clap for this one.
we can clap. All right.
Yes.
Next news.
Next news. Indonesian woman says she was impregnated by a gust of wind.
Wow.
So this isn't even like
Wow.
specifically religiously related, but this is just too good. I was like, we have to talk about this. Indonesian authorities are examining the odd details of a woman's claim that she was impregnated only an hour earlier by a quote unquote gust of wind. The young woman, Siti Zaina, age 25, recently gave birth to a baby girl in Cianjur, a town within Indonesia's southern province of West Java. She explained to local media that she was resting in her living room when she was mysteriously impregnated. Quote, after afternoon prayer, I was lying face down when suddenly I felt a gust of wind enter my vagina, she said. The young mother said she began experiencing pain in her abdomen only 15 minutes later as her stomach grew bigger and bigger. She rushed to the community health clinic and gave birth.
Okay. As funny as this story might seem, I kind of feel bad for her, because she might. I mean, she's in Indonesia. Did she get like pregnant before marriage?
Well, okay, here's the deal. She was previously married, and she had a child from that marriage. And she separated from that husband 4 months ago. So,
But okay. I just don't want to laugh too much, because I feel like she's in a tough situation. She might be in a tough situation, and she says, I mean, not everybody is smart, okay? And she was trying to. I mean, Mother Mary pulled it off, like, allegedly, right?
and
So what?
she set the foundation of get out of
Yeah,
free cards for millennia to come.
I mean, it might have the consequences for her, like the pressure from the society and her surrounding might be. She was desperate to come up with something,
An explanation.
an explanation, and I know it's obviously not the best explanation, obviously, to say the least. But again, just because just because the explanation is extremely dumb, I just feel bad for her, that she's like in such a desperate situation where you need to where you need to come up with excuses for stuff that shouldn't be taboo.
Yeah. Some have suggested that Zaina possibly used the story to conceal a pregnancy from a man other than her then husband. Because technically, it's within the realm of possibility that it was her husband at the time. If we're following the timeline of a typical pregnancy. You know, they were only separated 4 months ago. This shameful situation, if true, would most certainly scar her reputation and bring disgrace upon her family, especially amidst Indonesia's deeply religious communities. So the director of the community clinic speculated that Zaina experienced a cryptic pregnancy, a phrase that describes a pregnancy that the mother never recognizes the pregnancy until she goes into labor or has given birth. Zaina already has one child fathered by a husband who she separated from about 4 months ago. But this is not the first time stuff like this has happened in Indonesia. In July 2020, a woman claimed she was mysteriously conceived a child only 1 hour before birth. And a teenager gave birth in 2017 despite claiming that she was a virgin. And in February of 2020, a child protection chief in Indonesia created a scandal when she convinced women that they could get pregnant by swimming in the same pool as men with strong sperm.
This reminds me of some fish and how they leave their sperms and the eggs in the same area in the water, and the eggs just get in,
Oh, it's like
fertilized.
literally that mentality, yeah.
Yeah. So it that's like when the first time I saw that actually fish do that, I was like, wow, like wait, so they just have like, is that their sex? They're like, I'm just gonna come here and then I'm gonna leave, and then you hopefully also orgasm in the vicinity of my cum. I like, how much fun? Like, I'm hoping that's fun for them, because I can't imagine. I mean, they're not even contacting each other. So like,
It's really just like a wing and a prayer. It's a wing and a prayer.
I feel sad for the fish because they're like, oh, is that your sex? I'm so that's like no contact with the other fish. Okay. So here's, Shuva agrees with me. She might be trying to save herself from trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I'm not very comfortable laughing at her, given what she probably had to deal with and what she's trying to get out of. Okay. Cool. Okay.
Oh, before we go to the next news, Murder Man has apologized for making a presumption about our stance on the Uyghur genocide.
Oh, okay. Apology accepted, and I'll take everything I said about you back now.
No hard feelings.
No, yeah. In fact, instead of being ashamed, now you could go be proud of being somebody that accepts that they made a mistake. Yay! See, I'll take it. I'll take everything back that I said about you.
Do you mind talking to people while I go pee?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, thank you.
I'll highlight the comments. All right, you could go like down here, right? All right, there we go. All right, let me see what else you guys had to say. Strong sperm. Yeah, you guys don't know what that is? No, I was gonna say something. We'll probably get demonetized. Okay, here. Armin and Susanna content idea video about cults and ruin people's lives and magical thinking. Yeah, I mean, you also ask about. Okay, so you got lucky that Susanna is on a break, because I don't know why you keep bringing up comments that has nothing to do with the news. So you got lucky, because I'm just highlighting comments right now. I already have a video on Falun Dawn, and but we are gonna do more videos on different cults. Yes, the patriarchy for the win. Yes, manpower now. See, it works both ways. Ghost Bunny saying, no, Armin, there's no contact between them. They leave room for Jesus. Jesus, that's where Jesus fish comes from then. I get it now. It makes a lot of sense now. Yes. And what else? Fish have sex by masturbating. Yes, that's true. Oh, wait, Susie's
back again.
We talked about fish masturbating while you were away.
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
Wait, okay. Did you say this joke? Some Indonesian boy, and then the wind whispered in my ears, I am your father.
Oh, that's perfect. Thank you. That's good. All right. All right. Can we? No clapping? Next news.
Oh, and I clapped. Okay.
No clapping while she claps. God damn it. All right, let's try this again.
Okay. Next
Makes sense.
New bill forbids sexuality displays in public schools in an anti-LGBT move. In West Virginia, the West Virginia legislature have now introduced House Bill 2157, a controversial bill on February 10th, 2021. This bill proposes eliminating any teachings of sexuality and forbids displays meant to promote understanding among all students related to such instructions in public schools. Although it doesn't specify any particular group or sexuality in written form, it is widely known that it is an attempt to ban any mentions of the LGBTQ community. The bill plans to bar any display of pro-LGBT subject matter, even if it has nothing to do with actual sex. The bill offers no guidance about what that specifically entails, but it likely applies to things like rainbow pride flags, an affirming bulletin board, or safe spaces stickers, for instance.
Wow.
Yeah.
They are so scared of anything gay LGBT that they want to just like, let's just not talk about any. You know what? This is let's move on. I mean, so how far are they going to go, right? Because, for example, if we have stories for children with two princes falling in love with each other or two princesses, then are they going to like remove all romantic children's stories? Like, are they going to ban Snow White? Are they going to ban Sleeping Beauty? Are they going to ban all of these, like every single story that there's any because if they are anti-LGBT, then it shouldn't just be sexuality, like any form of romance, any form of attraction, any form of any couple. You can't even mention, well, you know what, you can't even say mom and dad, because if you say mom and dad, you should be able to say two dads. Like, you shouldn't, any form of people coming together in any form of union, you shouldn't talk about it because it could lead to LGBT then.
Well, okay, Doorknobhead is asking a question. What is a quote-unquote sexuality display? A human being human? So it basically comes down to, like, educational materials. It would prohibit K through 12 schools from allowing queer and transgender people to raise awareness of the true nature that, individuals like them have to face in society that have long been held down by hatred and discrimination. And so a lot of this has to do with people are comparing this to this proposed bill. So guys, this has just been introduced, it hasn't been enacted, good thing it can still be rejected. But they're comparing it to similar so-called no promo homo laws currently on the books in 5 states, including Texas, Mississippi, and Alabama, that prevent teachers from either discussing LGBT topics in the classroom or positively mentioning queer and trans people. So I almost think of it in a similar situation to Russia's so-called anti-gay propaganda laws, where you're not allowed to have positive portrayals of it, because that's promotion of it, right? It's not exactly the same, but it gives me a similar flavor. The bill, quote unquote, so this is a quote from a state representative who opposes this bill. They said, quote, the bill will actually prohibit welcoming displays from student-led organizations that proclaim acceptance from all. Many schools around our state have GSA, or Gay Straight Alliance organizations that promote the unifications of all students regardless of how they identify. And then here's the thing, though. It's this is about schools can't teach sexuality, but schools don't teach sexuality. Most LGBTQ materials are no different from schools teaching the differences between girls and boys, separating specific interests of males and females without any focus on actual sex. In reality, human gender identities go far beyond just male and female. It's just absolutely ludicrous. And there's questions about how far this will go. So it's like, are students not even allowed to have like rainbow flag stickers on like their lockers or their binders and stuff like that? That's not the sense that I got. It seems like it's more materials put forward by the school. Armin, you had something to say?
Well, two things. First of all, Peter, I know you might be joking, but I need to call this out. Peter saying Virginia sounds like Iran. Last time I checked, they're not executing gay people in Virginia, so that's ridiculous. I hope you don't really mean that. Also, for people, I also want to point out how this supports my claim that most cancel culture comes from the right. Okay? Most cancel culture comes from the right, not the left. Yes, the left also is involved in a lot of cancel culture, but most of it comes from the right. The thing is that it has been so normalized and accepted, and when it comes from the right, and people are so used to it that they don't even recognize it as cancel culture. People just recognize it as religious people being religious. But if you actually look at what we mean when we say cancel culture, then all of this is cancel culture.
Yeah.
And it's astronomically the cancel culture that the right gets involved when it is like on a different level, like that, how normal and how widespread it is. Okay. So just remember that when people talk about cancel culture, just remind them that most of it happens from in the right. But go ahead.
Adam had just kind of like a funny joke saying, I displayed my sexuality once. I appear before the judge on Tuesday. But I wanted to give a little bit more clarity. So here is an excerpt of the proposed bill. A bill to amend the Code of West Virginia, blah, 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 relating to sexuality, forbidding displays relating to sexuality in public school facilities, and forbidding the teaching of sexuality in public schools. The state board shall prohibit persons from putting up displays relating to sexuality in public school facilities and forbid the teaching of sexuality in public schools. Note the purposes of the bill is to, and then it just kind of repeats itself. But here's what's ridiculous. Like, this is so broad that you're not allowed to teach sexuality. Like, this is something that a lot of like not very smart or knowledgeable people do when they're like, oh, gender studies, that means women's studies. No, everyone has a gender, right? Like, or they're like, oh, sexuality, that means only gay people have a sexuality. No, everyone has a sexuality. So schools are not allowed to teach sexuality. So what, you're not going to talk about heterosexual kids anymore? Or are you not allowed to talk about sex education anymore? It's right. So vague.
I mean, we have like every single health institution, taking preventing when it comes to preventing disease, preventing unwanted pregnancy, making sure children grow up to have the healthiest sex life. All the experts, all the studies show that sex education is an important part of education, right? Like we know that's an important thing that the school system needs to provide to children growing up. So given how obvious that information is now with all the evidence and all the data we have, imagine how much you're betraying these children if you want to remove all of that, for the sake of your homophobia, for the sake of your bigotry, for the sake of your religion, for the sake of your sensitive, like, these are right-wingers being snowflakes, by the way, when they, creating their own safe spaces and stuff, right? For the sake of all of that, you are basically betraying the people that were trusted to you, for you to give them the information and the education they require to be able to be functioning as adults in the society the best that they could possibly be. Like, you're on purpose withholding information from them that they need. Like, you shouldn't be trusted with children if that's your priorities. But go on.
There's one quote I wanted to highlight. Fairness West Virginia, the statewide civil rights advocacy organization dedicated to fair and equal treatment of LGBT West Virginians, released a statement, quote, House Bill 2157 is a bad bill that will harm all of our students. It was designed to silence teachers from showing any support to their LGBT students, but it's written so broadly that it would also likely prevent health teachers from talking to teens about teen pregnancies or ways to prevent the spread of STDs. So, great job. And a lot of this comes down to like kind of public health displays about like teen suicide rates, you know, and where to find resources for dealing with discrimination and ostracization. You know, like it really drives me crazy. It's absolutely insane how much some of these people just like hate differences. Yeah. No good. But I am hopeful that this bill will not succeed. So that is one positive. It's just been introduced, but we do still need to watch things like this.
Can we clap for the next news?
Yes.
All right, next news.
Next news. Rihanna posts topless pic wearing a Ganesha necklace and sparks controversy. On February 15th, global pop star Rihanna posted on Instagram and Twitter a photo of herself topless and wearing a lavender jade necklace with a Lord Ganesha pendant. The picture was also posted to promote her lingerie brand's new spring collection. There was swift backlash from many Indians on Twitter. Many accused her of cultural appropriation and tried to scold her for using a Hindu god for her aesthetic. Meanwhile, others downright bashed her for being disrespectful to Hinduism and the Indian population across the globe. For example, one commenter said, quote, "This is a categorical targeting of the Indian culture and India itself."
Wow.
A Hindu nationalist organization spokesman even filed a complaint with the police against Twitter and Instagram to get the photo removed from social media platforms.
This is amazing. Wait, do you think she's doing this on purpose? Because she's my new hero if she's doing this on purpose. Because they went the Hindu again, hashtag not all. The Hindutva have been going after Rihanna lately. Maybe she's like, you know what? Screw you guys. I don't know. Wait, why is it Rihanna that is like both Muslims and Hindus keep finding her offensive, right?
No, I wanted to talk about this. So if you guys don't remember, a few months ago with the release of a recent lingerie launch, she does her fashion show online and does a video of it that's posted to Amazon Prime. So in this, there's music to it as well. It's like choreographed dancing. And there was a quick sample, and the sample is a distorted clip of someone reciting a hadith about the end of times. And many Muslims online lost their shit about this. And she apologized. There was massive backlash and she apologized. She has not apologized to anything regarding this.
Well, okay, there's four.
She took down the audio of that they released an album from the show. They removed the audio from that. They couldn't remove it from the show itself. So she kowtowed to that mob, but this one, it's nothing. So it's interesting because we've experienced worse backlash from the Hindutva, but other people actually feel sorry and the need to apologize to Islam. So like Islam is still getting preferential treatment here.
Because this is the beauty of being able to go after Hindutva. Okay, okay. First of all, let me give you the four things. Okay, Rihanna, she first of all she wore the hijab as a non-Muslim in front of a mosque. That was the first thing she did a couple of years ago, and that made a lot of Muslims lose their mind. Then she did use the hadith recitation in a lingerie ad, and she took that down. Okay, then when it comes to Hindutva, she supported the farmers' protest, and a lot of Hindutva hated her for that. And now she has the Ganesha while she's topless, and this is fantastic. But this is right. The thing, so these are the 4 things she has done. But the reason why I think going after Islam is like doing things that are more offensive to Muslims is harder as a Westerner is because defending Muslims, unfortunately, is seen as a left-leaning thing to do. Okay. But Hindutva is far right. Okay. So, right. So as a Westerner, like you might want to play the angle of you're offending brown people narrative to try to get some sympathy from the offense culture, from the offense industry, from the my feelings. This is, kind of, this is too offensive. It should be banned, kind of. But at the same time, now you're on the side of far right. Okay. This is like defending Modi, defending Hindutva. It's becoming more and more apparent that, the left is not going to. So the people in Western countries who control the gatekeepers of culture are mostly left leaning in Western North American and Western European countries, right? And Hindutva can't come in these countries and take advantage of the powers of left leaning, people in academia or in culture, trying to use their woke narratives to ban things, because you guys be far right, you guys be fascists, right? The farmer, both when it comes to culture, religion, and when it comes to the recent protests, like on everything, it seems like you're anti-left, right? But the farmers seem to be representing the workers class. So the Hindutva versus the farmers seems to be a traditional, business owners versus workers. So left-leaning people like, well, we know which side we're on. And then you also have, the whole Hindutva being anti-Muslim themselves, and left-leaning people traditionally being like, wait, you're anti-Muslim bigots? Well, we know which side we're on. And then you're also, but the only thing that they have going for them is that they're brown, and also they are like in Western countries they're considering a religious minority, but they don't have the history of Muslims being protected by leftist people in Western countries. So this was something that they were flirting with it a little bit, but it's not selling, I think. But go on, Susanna.
I had something I wanted to highlight for a second. So, Armin, do you know who this is? Do you know who this guy is right here?
Oh no!
Do you know who
is
this is?
Is that the ex-cop that came after me?
He's not an ex-cop. He's the national spokesperson for a Hindu nationalist organization.
Oh.
But yes.
But he's also an
this
ex-cop.
is the same man who filed a complaint against Twitter India itself over Sexy Kali.
Over our tweet, over our Sexy Kali. No, be more specific. Our Sexy Kali. This guy came after our art. Go on. Yeah.
Yes. No, because I was like reading an article about this, and then this shows up at the bottom, and I was like, wait a second, Vanud, I know this guy. Yeah. So we complained to Delhi police and Mumbai police against the CEO of Twitter and Facebook under CC. I'm not sure what this means. So they CC'd the Ministry of Home and the IT goal. I think they mean Gov, for suitable legal action and delete the anti-India and anti-Hindu social media accounts of Rihanna. So she is now anti-Indian. And I think it's just important to highlight that a lot of this comes down to just pure misogyny. That it's so dirty and unholy, the skin of a woman.
Yeah.
would be on the idol. Like, that's what a lot of this comes down to. And also, she's just in the hot seat because of her statements about the farmers' protest. But even removing the past with the farmers' protest, this comes down to sexism.
Yes, and and also sex negativity. Okay, because this, okay, is not the issue. Okay, this is not what offends them. This next to this is what makes them lose their mind. Okay, which is very interesting, coming from a religion, coming from a culture that is responsible for the Kama Sutra. Okay, this is like, you know how a lot of Hindus come to us and be like, you guys are criticizing Hinduism because of your Abrahamic mindset. Hold on. Abrahamic mindset, right? If go look at their temples and see how topless their goddesses are, right? So your mindset, the modern Hindu in India, you don't know your own religion, okay? Because your religion, ancient, like maybe in the modern format, yes, but originally wasn't this sex negative. You guys be this sex negative because you have an Abrahamic mindset. We don't have an. They guys, like, I'm just giving Susie. Wait, let me finish this, because a lot of people might be new here, so they don't understand. They call us Abrahamic atheists because what they're saying is that, as an ex-Muslim myself and Susanna as an ex-Christian, they think that we are not able to we are still Muslim and Christian-ish, right? They tell me, like, once a Muslim, always a Muslim. Being Muslim is in your DNA. And the reason why we're anti-Hinduism is because we are coming with that Abrahamic mindset, which is very, very ironic, right? Because this India was a country that was colonized by Islam and then was colonized by the British Empire, and those influences on their culture is why they are now so sex negative. So they say, like, you can't, your mind is boxed inside this Abrahamic mindset, while they're so sex negative because their Hindu minds is actually in an Abrahamic mindset. That's why you're so sex negative. You're welcome. We're helping you become more sex positive. But go on, Susanna.
Man, I forgot what I was gonna say, but it was so good.
Oh
no, I remember. So you guys might have remembered a few months ago there was controversy around an Amazon Prime series called The Suitable Boy, which took place in India. And in it, two characters kiss in front of a temple, and this is a huge controversy, huge backlash. The disrespect. This is targeting India, and it was seen as like a form of blasphemy almost. And someone posted, I think it was Ali in our group chat, sent us the funniest meme that was like, oh, two characters kiss in front of a temple. This is blasphemy, blah, blah, blah. And then it shows like the temple. And the picture of the temple is like the carvings of people having sex all over it.
Yeah.
It's literally that.
Wait,
the temple is like more sex positive than most of you religious nut jobs. Like,
yeah, exactly. By the way, we're not endorsing ancient Hinduism, okay? So ancient Hinduism is better when it comes to being sex positive compared to Abrahamic religions, but it still be casteist. It still is anti-woman, very big, like, and so there's a whole bunch of other problem in ancient Hinduism, even though the thing that you can't blame Hinduism for is sex negativity. That does not mean that we're cool with it, okay? The whole idea of karma, reincarnation, all of that is horse crap. But hold on.
Wait, Katie just sent me a photo. I think this is a photo of a statue of Ganesh having sex.
Don't show it anyway.
Yeah, I don't know if we can show this.
Okay.
Yeah, Ganesh gets down. Ganesh likes the ladies. No, that's what Katie was talking to me about the other day, is that Ganesh loves boobs.
Yes.
He has a story about loving boobs. So, I mean, he's in close proximity to what he loves best, okay?
Yes, if anything, the only thing wrong with this picture is that this chain should have been shorter.
Yes.
So that Ganesh could have been closer to the boob.
Yeah.
Yeah. Guys, I don't understand. They keep asking for bobs and vagina. Is it vagine or vaganas? Bobs,
Originally, it was vagana, but I like saying
vagana,
vagine more. Vagine
vagine.
is funnier.
What is it like? You want bobs and vagines or you don't want bobs and vagines? Make up your mind. Anyways, we have to. Okay, I do want to highlight some comments, and also I want to highlight some tweets. Goddess Katie saying Ganesh is a boobs guy, so I'm guessing he would be happy with Rihanna doing this. Yeah, exactly.
You just almost unironically said Bob's.
Yeah, I think it's been boobs.
Entered my psyche.
it's just like it's officially Bob's now. Okay. She was saying, are Hindutva people going to complain about the millions of Western girls with their own tattoos? I don't know. We could ask them. Aryan is saying, Armin, Islam has made Hinduism very prudish. Yes, exactly. Islam and the British Empire, the Islamic and the British Empire together did this. I think the Islamic Empire had more to do with it. Maybe I'm wrong. Grand Priest Selva is saying the modern Hindus are more Muslim Christian than they accept. Exactly. We already highlighted that comment by. Oh my God, I had a good comment to highlight. Where is it? Somebody was saying, oh my God, where is it? Oh, here. This is a good comment because they agree with me. Shiva is saying, I agree with Armin. If I say I am an atheist, which I am, Hindus try to put me in a Hindu atheist category. I absolutely hate it. Yeah, but that's an old trick. The new trick is to if you say you like Hinduism, they put you in a Hindu atheist box. But if you are an atheist and you say you don't like Hinduism, then they put you in the Abrahamic atheist box. Susanna, check. Oh, yep, you already did that.
Yeah, that was for the
Right.
choice picture.
Can we read some of these tweets?
Yes. So, Samar, I really appreciate and love you, but the necklace you're wearing is totally not okay. Stop using our religion and culture for your aesthetics. It's very sad and disappointing. This other person is saying, we are so tired, and if we raise our voices against this cultural appropriation, we are labeled as Hindu extremist. For you all Hindu phobics, it is just a necklace. But for us, he's a god. Please stop telling us what is offensive and what's not. The audacity of these people, Hindu phobia doesn't exist.
No, it's okay. It's okay. We're not going to tell you what's offensive. If you want to be offended, be offended. It's not going to stop us from enjoying your culture the way we like. In fact, by the way, if you knew what was good for you, you would be thanking us for improving your culture. We're sexing up. We're sexing your goddesses up, and you are welcome.
This is marketing.
Yes. Like, seriously, India, your gods and goddesses were boring until Atheist Republic showed up. Okay? Yeah, they're sexier now, and you should be grateful. Grand Priest Selva is saying, that's true, Hinduism is BS in general. It's not sex negative as other religions. Yes. Oh, here this is very, very interesting. Mortal Skeptic is saying, the Hindutva are geniuses. They want bobs and vagines, and they know if they outrage about this, we will give more.
Oh my God, Murtad, you're onto something.
That is pure genius.
They've been playing us this whole time.
Wait, some of these tweets have been removed. I like how when the tweets get removed, they still leave
the text.
Okay, so do you want to read some of these?
Who the hell do you think you are? You can't insult our religion like this. Lord Ganesha is not a piece of jewelry. He's beyond your imagination. Seems like you're doing this for purpose.
Beyond your imagination.
You have to pay it off someday. Karma does exist. Like, God damn,
man. I don't know if they understand how funny they are. Like, they are begging us to do this more. They're like, poke us here, please. Like, they're making it too much fun. Like, we can't even if we wanted to stop, we can't, because they're just making it too entertaining. Anyways, this can.
Rihanna, stop using us as our religion as an aesthetic. That Ganesh figure at the end of the chain, frowny face, is holy and sacred figure to us Hindus. And another tweet, super offensive wearing Ganesha like that. My first god, a holy sentiment to millions of people celebrating Ganesh Charthuru, I can't say that, every year. Sorry, Riri, you disappointed me and others. My favorite one was definitely the one that I said earlier, which is, scroll back up. This is a categorical targeting of the Indian culture in India itself. That's like my favorite sentence of all time.
If you show this to somebody, how likely it is that they would guess that this is what they're referring to? This is an attack. This is an attack on all Indian people and Indian as a country across the globe. This. Oh my God. You guys are so pathetic. Okay, so Goddess Katie saying Hinduism is sex negative in some ways. Yes, you're right. Thank you for the correction. But not as sex negative as Abrahamic religions. Yes, you're right. There are, burning your wives, that is very low. Actually, I don't know. That's sexism. That's not sex negative. But yeah, actually, Katie did. I don't remember them, but there were some teachings in Hinduism that were obviously sex negative, right? But again, is Kama Sutra Hinduism or not Hinduism? That depends on your definition of Hinduism, because by some definitions of Hinduism, anything that comes out of India is Hinduism. Anyways, I do think that we have some. Sorry, I know I'm spending too much time on this, but it's just too good. We do have some good comments here as well from our own community. Do you want to read some of these comments? They got so many likes.
Existed before any religion. They are a fabulous thing of beauty and much more useful to society than any god. Let the breasts be free.
That's good.
And then I like this one from Nick. She's not insulting your religions, but complimenting it. Your god looks much better under her divine boobs.
Well, hey, this one is good too. Why?
Yeah, why is being topless considered an insult? Boobs are awesome. Again, the kryptonite of religion is the skin of women.
Yes, boobs are awesome. Yeah, I completely agree with that. This one?
That such a thing as possible is extremely shocking to me. I was not aware that Rihanna has such massive bobs. Now life won't be the same.
Okay.
Yeah. And then there are people debating the cultural appropriation aspect of this, which I think is just like,
oh God, it's cultural.
I don't even.
It's cultural appreciation.
It's so funny because there's so many people who probably enjoy her wearing that.
Okay. Anyways, can we?
Yes. Yeah. So we can clap for this.
Next news.
Last news. So guys, every week, our last news is Atheist Republic related. And oh wait, Armin, check the private chat really quick. So this is hilarious for many reasons. Our news editor found this article that was posted in January, and it is talking about how we got blocked in India, which I'm like, cool. I just wanted to walk through this with you guys because the way that they talk about this is hilarious. So can you scroll down? We'll just read it together. The Atheist Republic page recently got suspended on Facebook. In reality, we just got blocked from India. The confirmation of the news came from the admin of the page, Atheist Republic, Armin Navabi himself. That's you.
That's me.
Armin Navabi was involved in spreading blasphemous posts and drawing of Hindu gods and goddesses for a long time now. This is the funniest part of this whole article, this next sentence. Derogatory posts and sexualization of the Hindu spiritual characters are at the center of Armin's philosophy of atheism.
I mean, okay, if you insist.
I just want to read that one more time. Derogatory posts and sexualization of the Hindu spiritual characters were at the center of Armin's philosophy on atheism.
What is that? I don't know what that means. I want to agree or disagree, but I don't even know how to start.
Like, I don't even know. Maybe you became an atheist just to do this.
I've been waiting 15 years to get to this point to be able to do
That's
Sexy
how
goddess.
insidious you truly are.
Wow.
That's how much
Is that
groundwork you put in.
it's at the center of I want to make fun of this. I don't know how to start because I don't know what it means. The
It's
center
so
of
funny though.
Armin's philosophy. You know what? I'm gonna put. Can somebody put this on my gravestone? Armin's spiritual.
Yeah.
Wait, no.
A derogatory posts and sexualization
Oh
of
no.
spiritual
Derog.
leaders were at the
Oh,
center of
derogatory
Armin's
post and
philosophy
sexual.
of atheism.
Yeah. Please put this whole thing on my gravestone. That's
Atheism
amazing.
is a philosophy now. It's a philosophy now.
I'm not complaining. This sounds pretty epic. To be fair, the only thing I don't like about this is the fact that they keep saying that this is derogatory. Just a reminder. Let me just bring you how this all started. Okay, how is this derogatory? This is how is this not a celebration of Hinduism?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Wait, where is the lesbian one? Anyway, this is how it started.
Mm-hmm.
How is this not a celebration of Hinduism?
Mm-hmm.
God, you know what? Even if we went to a point where people were like, meh, whatever, it's okay, I would still be like, what? No thank yous? Like, this is like a huge appreciation of the Hindu culture. Why do they say derogatory? Like, where are they getting this from?
Well, the
Anyways.
court documents that were filed against us talk about this. And let me be clear: the derogatory comments is the word "sexy." But let me continue. The Atheist Republic page received and generated much anger among the Indian public. Several complaints were registered against the Atheist Republic and its Indian fans for hurting the religious sentiments, including one from Assam. An FRI was lodged in late 2020 in Assam, India. It was against the Queer Indian Atheist, which is a page and a channel, for sharing the derogatory image that was created by the Atheist Republic. On Friday, so again, this is back in January when this was written. On Friday, Armin Navabi came live on his new YouTube channel. Oh, I think no, they're talking about when we were blocked by the Shia group when we were doing it on your personal channel. I think that's what they mean. Came live on his new YouTube channel and informed about this block over his channel in India. Armin said that the Hindutva followers even took down his Twitter account, which had millions of followers. Not true.
Nope.
His previous YouTube channel had been suspended for weeks at Armin. Again, that was because of a false copyright claim. Armin further said that the Facebook page of Atheist Republic, which had around 2 million followers, has now been made inaccessible in India. Quote, Armin Navabi had the audacity of...
Wait, does it actually say audacity? Wait.
Yeah. Okay. Quote, Armin Navabi had the audacity of hurting the religious sentiments of billions of people on social media. He even went on to justify it as freedom of speech. His artworks are not based on questioning superstitions, but on degrading and sexualizing the gods and goddesses of Hinduism.
It's amazing how...
let me finish. This is not atheism. This is an attack on the belief of the believers, said Subhash Chowdhury, who lodged the FRI against the Queer Indian Atheist in 2020.
None of these idiots who say this is not atheism have any idea what atheism even means. First of all, I do many things that is not atheist. Like, guys, we are just because we're atheists, that doesn't mean that every single, you know what, covering this news here is also not atheism. I exercised today. That was also not atheism. Okay,
are you sure?
I eat healthy. That is also not atheism. Yes, guys, you know, we do things that are not atheism. What do these people think atheism means? Atheism is just a lack of belief in God. Like, what are we supposed to do?
They also think it's a philosophy.
Susanna, let's do atheism. Let's do atheism right for just a minute. Okay? Susie, okay?
I'm ready.
Ready?
Mm-hmm.
There's
no.
Just follow after me. I'm going to tell you how... That's actually interesting, the way you're doing. I'm going to show you how boring it's going to be to do atheism and nothing but atheism, okay? There's no evidence for the existence of God.
There's no evidence for the existence of God.
That's it. You want to keep repeating that? Because that is all that atheism is. There's nothing else. Like, if you want to do atheism, that's just it. There's literally nothing else. Okay? So, you guys, what do you guys want to do? You guys want us to do atheism? And like, we just have to keep sitting here every day and just be like, guys, again, we check last, again, no evidence for the existence of God. Again, hey guys, again, no
I
evidence.
do nothing but stare at this book.
Even that book, even my book, why there's no God, that's way beyond atheism. Okay? Because anyways.
You know what
These
I feel
people,
like doing?
you know how, every time somebody says, like, any of these religious idiots, whenever they say something that sounds ridiculous, don't even tell them why they're wrong. Just ask them if they know what they're talking about, right? So for somebody says, like, this is not atheism, okay? Just tell them, okay, define atheism, because they can't. If somebody says, like, I don't know, evolution is not true, for example, if evolution is fake, or like okay, tell me what is evolution. They don't know they don't even know what they're refuting. That's how stupid they are. But anyways,
there's one thing I wanted to highlight here. So if you guys aren't catching on, basically someone who supported us, the queer Indian atheist, they got police reports filed against them simply because they shared our photos, right?
Not because we made it.
Let me finish.
Yeah.
They were just supporting us. They didn't post it themselves. They just shared it. So this is the extent that these Hindutva supporters will go to target people. They couldn't come after us, so they were targeting anyone they could within India. That's how butthurt they are. That's how vicious they are. So guys, go show your support to Queer Indian Atheist. On YouTube and Facebook.
We got 2 art ideas from today's stream. We need to do one in response to what happened to Rihanna and one in response to what happened in Poland. Thank you so much for the suggestion, Ghost.
That's a good suggestion.
That's a great suggestion. There was one comment here that I need to highlight because it's a little bit. I know you don't mean bad, but okay. Saying, but why no pictures against Sikhism may fear Sikhs in Canada? First of all, we're going to get to Sikhism when it comes to our blasphemous art, okay? However, guys, we argue against religions, but our art is not against religion. You guys have to come, every single one of you who thinks any of the blasphemous art we're doing is an attack on religion is because you see sex as something dirty or disgusting or shameful. Like, try to be a little bit more sex positive, okay? When we are arguing against Islam, and telling you how ridiculous it is to believe any of this is real, that's an attack on Islam. When we have Muhammad, a sexy Muhammad, making out with Lord Rama, that is not an attack on Islam unless you're either sex negative or homophobic. None of our blasphemous art has been an attack on religion. In fact, they have been a celebration of religious mythology. In fact, they have been a demonstration of how you could enjoy religion without believing in it. The problem with religion is the belief in religion. The fact that you think people think that that's actually true. The stories are not the problem. You can enjoy the stories. You can enjoy the tradition. All of that is fun. The problem is believing that they are real. None of our art is an attack on religion. In fact, they're just a celebration of religious culture, because we are also demonstrating how much fun religion can be if you don't believe in it, and how much fun appreciating beautiful, sexy art can be as well. There's nothing wrong with sex. If you think any of this is an attack, is either because you're homophobic or because you're sex negative. Anyways, that was
so wait, we got a super chat.
Ooh, we did.
From Suvik Kundu. Thank you for the 100 rupees. Wow, thank you. Saying, Armin, please become the Prime Minister of India. I will vote for you. I read your Why There Is No God book on my flight back to my hometown. Amazing.
Aw, thank you. I will.
Oh,
I
you
will.
you
Yes.
can promise
I
it. You're gonna
I
become it.
I accept. I accept. I accept.
It's gonna go over really well. It's
Yeah,
gonna
yeah.
go over really well.
You never know if you try, unless you try. If it's in your constitution that you need to be Indian to be prime minister, we could also challenge the constitution. We got to start somewhere.
Yeah.
Anyways,
You don't have to become a citizen either.
no, I don't. Cool. Well, I'll accept the citizenship. You know what? I know some countries like gift you citizenship if you like do something very extraordinary and do improve the country in any way. And I think, Susanna, me and you have improved India a lot. I think both of us deserve a citizenship. We demand. You know what? I will. I know I might not become a prime minister of India. I will settle for one citizenship for me, one for Susanna. Just I know we deserve a lot more as thank you for what we have done for India. We'll just accept. We accept citizenship.
Can we
One
get
citizenship for me,
pardon?
one Indian citizenship for me, one Indian citizenship for Susanna. Yes.
Is that too much to ask?
No, that's the least you could do. India, that is the least you could do.
So, guys,
That is the least you could do.
of our Blasphemous Art project and why it's important, we have a final draft coming out tonight.
Oh yes.
So
yes.
become a patron on Patreon because it's juicy.
It's really good.
Lilith and it's for the not safe for work versions, or
Mm.
if you're just interested in the safer work versions, you can get that for free on our newsletter. Link in the description.
Right. So we have all our blasphemous art is available. We're at number 19, I think now.
Crazy.
Right? Wow. We're getting up to 20 blasphemous art that we have. All of the safe for work, no nudity version of it is available for free. If you subscribe to our newsletter, link is in the description. The not safe for work version, the nude versions, are available to our patrons. The next one that is coming up is between Eve and Lilith making out. However, even though the nude versions are for patrons only, that doesn't mean that the safe for work version is not sexy. They're still sexy. They're not news, but they're still very sexy. So if you want the free blasphemous art, link in the description. Subscribe to our newsletter and stay subscribed because we keep adding new ones and we send it to everybody. Okay, so stay subscribed. Yes, perfect comment by Secular Rarity. Rarity.
So you got it. You got it.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, you want those uncensored versions?
Trust me.
Good. Loved it. All right, guys. Thank you. This was good. This is a good stream. Thank you so much, everyone. And yeah, make sure you subscribe. Wait,
Bye.
What are YouTube members? I'm level 2 member. Do I get full version? We can't do that. YouTube will remove our channel if we give it to you guys as YouTube members.
Yeah, it's exclusive for Patreons.
Yeah. As the members are already getting highlighted comments in the live chat that the patrons don't get, so I think that's fair.
And emotes.
And emotes.
Streams.
Exactly. Anyways, talk to you guys soon. Bye.